this has been something that has not been allowed for Black people to stare back at white people. It has been dangerous. I'm born and raised in Norway, in a city called 𝐅𝐫𝐢𝐝𝐻, which is an old city, industrial city. And I grew up with my mom and my sister. My mom is Norwegian and my father is Nigerian, but he left when I was 3. So basically, I grew up with a lot of women around me. My mom, my older sister, my grandma, my great-grandmother, and also at that time when I grew up, it was very few people looking like me and my sister. Most people were white, so we were the only one, except from a couple other families. So it was, skin was felt, and it was noticed. People were curious to where I was from, me and my sister. And I think these type of experiences from early on has played a huge part in my practice, in my work, still today. I'm working with race, sexuality, gender, and in my work, I am asking questions about these things. What does it mean to be a woman? What does it mean to be Black? I had a friend that told me about Instagram, so I opened it in 2013, I think. I started it. It was never to actually exhibit or show it to other people. That was not my intention. And it's still not the most important thing with my practice. It's to work on myself and things that I find difficult. It's like writing a diary. I need to do it, and I always done it. Like every day I need to work with something. And I did it beside of school, beside of studies, beside of later works. And now I do it as my job. So for me, it was more like a journey for me to find how I wanted to express myself. And of course, also, the more followers I got, the less I wanted to put out too much private things. It's still private, but it's not me or my family. And it's really just a way that I found out that I wanted to work, and it was the best way for me to speak about my own experiences. To say something about feelings, anger, sadness, depression, create narrative. And I think at the same time I was doing the digital collages, but I didn't print them out. I hadn't done that yet. But for me it was just the same. It was different expressions, but it was the same practice of putting things together that was not meant to be together, to create new meanings. So I think this is what I wanted, and it was just a language for me to speak, because I felt that I lacked a language to express how I felt. I still do. And after I started to exhibit works, I don't see the digital collages as done. I see them as sketches for a final work, which is physical. It transforms so much just to see them in big size, to see the layers. In a way, it was a next step of making the subject even more real and even more challenging. So yeah, I think that is the reason that I saw how challenging they became when I blew them up in human size with the folds and the layers and everything. This is what I want from the collages. This is what I want when it comes to the use of the archive. Sometimes you come across this powerful stare is something with how the subject stares at the people that is taking the photo or at us, and it can be filled with anger. This is something that I recognize myself and that I want from these images, and it can also for me then be a form of resistance. I don't pick images that where I don't feel it's a form of resistance. It's a lot of images from the colonial archives that I will not use, because the importance of being able to stare back, this has been something that has not been allowed for Black people to stare back at white people. It has been dangerous, and it speaks to whiteness. It speaks to the understanding of us and a them, where us is constructed as whiteness at the center, as something that is a norm, normality, is linked to the allowance of being able to stare, while the people that is constructed as the other has not been allowed to stare. They are not in the center, they are not normal, they are abnormal. It's something you should look at. So for me, working with the colonial archive, I think I couldn't have worked with it if I didn't have an understanding of the power of looking. This is what creates the dialogue, I think, between what I do, my work, and the people that look at it. But I don't want people to be comfortable when they look at my work. And I don't want people to focus too much on the work either. They should focus on themselves. That is what I want. I'm not saying that this is what happens, but that is what I want. I want that person to be aware of their own eye and their position. Most of the images is from colonial archives, and I tend to pick the images where the subjects, often women, are staring directly at you. I think when I'm looking at images, it goes automatically. It's like I become a machine. I just do like this. And when I see something I like, I know I like it. I can stop with images that touch me, but in a negative way, which means that I will not use it. That can be an image that I feel it's no subjectivity left. They have been ripped off everything. I don't see any resistance in the stare, or the person can stare away from the camera. Where you, in a way, while looking at the images, becomes the person that have been snatching the image. That is the worst feeling, and I don't want to recreate that. It's one person, but that person consists of so many other people. It's not this image, it's 5 or 10 images. And then you have me that is trying to construct a narrative and identity that is working against this objectification. If I manage to do so, it's like it's not even up to me to say it. You know, I'm working on my things, and I'm saying that I feel that I managed to construct narratives that challenge a racist gaze and a sexist gaze. Other people will say that I don't. And that is also interesting as well. I think that is where the dialogue starts.